originally thought that his peer Henry could lend a hand, but ended up being mocked. Henry's mood shifted dramatically, quickly apologizing for his inappropriate. During that time, his father had just passed away, but the Wang family still expected him to fulfill his duties, attending social events, keeping a record of work. I didn't say I wanted help, just that I had to. This is certainly not the same thing to the outside world. The act of shaking hands might appear to be a symbol of friendship, but in reality, something seemed to have changed. Back in his country, Alex returned to his usual. Then one night, he received a teasing text from an unknown number. Just as Alex wondered who was mocking him, his phone buzzed again, simply reading, "Yes, it's me, Henry." Alex couldn't help but chuckle. He casually renamed Henry's contact to Prince Idiot, and the next day, he saw a magazine with Henry's face-worthy news. He took a snapshot and sent it to him, a smug grin on his face. Though this text game was filled with teasing and sarcasm, it unknowingly brought them closer, the barriers between them slowly melting away. Since then, the two have often stayed in touch, exchanging not only little gifts and sharing movies they found interesting. At times, Alex would even call Henry at midnight to complain that his mom locked a turkey in his room. Despite being in different places, they often felt each other's presence. The splendor of Christmas quietly faded, and New Year's party was about to begin. Yushu kindly advised Alex that if he wanted to boost his mother's approval ratings, he had to invite Prince Henry to the party. After all, Prince Henry's fame attracted public admiration like a moth to a flame. At night's party sparkled with stars. High society from around the globe gathered as a symphony of music and cheers bounced through the air. Together, they ring out a fervent anticipation for the new year. As a reserved British prince, Henry stood out in a suit and brown tie, looking a tad out of place. However, Alex was precisely the opposite, resembling a free fish swimming in water, happily twisting to the rhythm on the dance floor. Suddenly, the music tempo shifted dramatically, and everyone in the dance floor squatted down, leaving Henry standing there, utterly confused. At this very moment, Alex's gaze traveled across the crowd and met with Henry's eyes. As the surrounding noise roared, Henry's gaze intertwined with Alex, revealing an unspoken understanding between them. It was a silent understanding, a rare tranquility and warmth amidst the commotion. Henry's spirits, which had just lifted, times all. It felt like his favorite toy had been snatched away. He felt a lump in his throat and clumsily escaped the scene. With his eyes slightly red, he awkwardly turned away. Standing under a tree burdened with heavy snow, under the fireworks shimmering above, he looked just like the handsome prince from a fairy tale. It was a sight you couldn't bear to look away from. Just as Alex was lost in heated kisses, Henry suddenly and calmly pulled away, leaving him momentarily quite dazed. Do all men act like this, losing love once they get what they want? Following this intimate encounter, Henry seemed to have vanished into thin air, utterly unresponsive. His silence felt like it put a rather disappointing period on their budding secret romance. Although his friend sensed the tension between them, their unique situations made it difficult to see a positive outcome for this romance. Despite understanding what his friend said, he just couldn't wake up from that kiss dream, so Alex decided specifically to invite Henry to the dinner which will welcome the British Prime Minister next month. He eagerly anticipated day and night the chance to see the little prince. Soon, the President's mum and the British Prime Minister made their entrance, and under the dazzling lights, Alex anxiously searched for Henry. But he kept coming up empty. Just then, his ex-boyfriend came over to say hi, as if wanting to rekindle things. But Alex's heart was set on his own little prince, leaving no room for other stinky guys. Finally, Henry's figure was spotted at the door. Alex's gaze was instantly captivated. After they made their appearance, Alex instructed his bodyguard to bring Henry upstairs. As soon as they entered the room, Henry rushed to apologize. "I understand. Let me explain. My behavior was truly so rude." "Shut up, I'm talking first." "Wait, time's up. We gotta go home." "Oh my gosh." After the party, Henry knocked on Alex's door, and they engaged in a fierce little tussle. Alex confessed that he fell for him at first sight during the Melbourne Climate Conference. I'd always thought Henry disliked him, so he never dared to pursue anything further. They candidly discussed their sexual orientations, both calmly stating they shouldn't take it too seriously, especially since all the media was hovering around them. "I've just fallen in love with a prince who isn't mine." "Oh, that's not what I meant. You dropped your own prince." "That's entirely on you." The next reunion was at the Windsor Charity polo match, where Henry stood out like a sore thumb among his teammates. He was a sight for sore eyes, his gaze steady and confident as he danced gracefully atop his horse. Every movement appeared meticulously crafted, radiating an irresistible charm. At the age of 4, Henry became aware that he was a part of this nation, and every individual in Britain was familiar with him. Alex's eyes reflected some sadness, perhaps pain for Henry's inability to be himself. That night, it was their very first night together, and Henry watched Alex intently. He was occasionally checking his reactions, while their hearts overflowed with joy. In that very moment, tranquility seemed to envelop them, intoxicated by their feelings. When Alex returned home, he found the presidential election situation grim. Even his mother voiced her concerns. She didn't want to be the first female president to lose a re-election after backing Alex, so she encouraged him to head to Texas for votes. Alex had always wanted to help his mother boost her approval ratings, so he wholeheartedly set out for it. He dove right into the crowd with enthusiasm and vigor.